What's up, you guys? Thank you for clicking on this video. So as you can tell by the title, another Transformers 1 vid. So as it pretty much ends its theatrical run here soon, I wanted to talk about some of the reasonings possibly as to why this movie absolutely bombed at the box office pretty much, and why us as fans are basically stringing on to the idea that hopefully streaming numbers, merchandise, and toy sales will drive the profit of this movie up a considerable amount to the point where Paramount and Hasbro would want to greenlight a second movie. I'm not sure if that's going to be the case, me personally, but obviously it does have a chance. Transformers is a very lucrative IP when it comes to selling media, toys, and merchandise, so it's extremely possible. That's not really what I want to talk about in this video today. You know, if you go through a few reasonings and you look through the history of this movie the last couple years since it was announced, you go back, I'm pretty sure this movie was like the product of the Transformers writers room back when they were doing the cinematic universe back in like 2015. If you guys don't remember, they assembled I think like 20 writers, somewhere around that range, to plan out the next, I think, like 10 or so years of Transformers movies. And I'm pretty sure this movie is a leftover of what happened back in 2015, because there's been rumors of a Cybertron prequel movie ever since then, and it was announced back then as well. And then it was re-announced a couple years ago, around, I think, like 2022 or something. And here we are today. I just think this movie had a bit of a weird development behind the scenes, because again, this movie has been around for a long time now, for about 7 years in the pipe over at Paramount until it finally got greenlit, in production, and released. So I don't know what really went on behind the scenes in terms of thinking about this movie and marketing it overall, because it does seem like a lot of things weren't really well thought out and kind of rushed as far as merchandise and marketing this movie, even though they've had since 2015 to think about what they could do with a Cybertron prequel movie that's animated, aimed more towards kids. So it's just very strange to me that we got the result that we got when this movie has been in development, in the pipeline from Paramount and Hasbro since 2015 again. It's just ridiculous to me. Like, I don't know what they were thinking marketing this movie to the point of just using test screenings and, TV spots here and there and dropping the trailers super late. You gotta drum up hype. I mean, this is an animated movie. This is for kids. It's not just for the main audience. I mean, it can be. Anybody can see an animated movie, but you guys know what I mean. This movie's more towards aimed at kids, You can't just treat this as a live-action Marvel Cinematic Universe movie and drop a trailer 4 months before it releases and drop the final 2 trailers a month, 2 months before its release. You gotta put some hype behind this thing. This isn't a freaking Avengers movie. This is an animated Cybertron movie. You gotta do a little bit more for marketing. And I really do think they were trying to think of it and treat it as that, when, let's be real here, Transformers movies, especially animated movies, are not Marvel. They're just not. They're not Star Wars. They have to do more. It's not the franchise it was back in 2011, 2014, when we had our last billion-dollar baby at the box office. It's just not. Especially with how Rise of the Beast did. Rise of the Beast did decent, but it didn't do great either. So I definitely do think the main reason here is marketing, and they just had to do more. I don't know what they could have done, but this is Transformers. There's a lot of options out there to market these movies. If you look at what they did with 2007, ROTF, Dark of the Moon, and even Age of Extinction, and especially The Last Night, the marketing on that movie was freaking ridiculous. But if you just look at those past movies, they were doing stuff left and right. I mean, sure, they did do a couple marketing placements here and there for one, but nothing on the same level as the previous movies. And I think that's because they're scared of having another The Last Night. They spent way too much money marketing that movie and it bombed at the box office still. Well, honestly, it didn't really bomb. If they didn't spend so much money behind the scenes marketing this movie and whatever else, the movie would have been actually kind of profitable. I mean, it made close to 700 million, if I remember correctly. It was around 650 million or something like that, which, especially for today's standards for a Transformers movie, that's actually pretty freaking good. The movie had a $200 million budget, but what really killed them is how much they spent after the fact, and especially marketing the movie. They're scared to have another The Last Night, even though, I don't know, it was kind of weird back then. They just don't want to repeat that. And even though the movies are in a different place now, it's basically kind of a different culture than it was 7-8 years ago when The Last Night came out. I mean, how many people are still thinking of that movie when they go see a Transformers movie? Paramount, honestly, in my opinion, has to move on from being scarred or traumatized by that moment, and they just gotta market their own freaking movies. I mean, what is the point of even spending hundreds of millions of dollars into your movie if you're not even marketing it to people correctly and you're not showing it to the world so people can actually go see the movie? And I haven't even talked about the test screenings and how they handled the first trailer. I mean, Lorenzo even kind of admitted it in that one interview with Sixo and stuff, that they kind of messed up on the first trailer and making it all about jokes and kiddie stuff, when in reality, when you go see the movie, the jokes are such a small part of the movie that you barely even think of them throughout the movie. You're just thinking about this crazy story, this frankly mature story between Optimus and Megatron, and the downfall of Cybertron between Sentinel and the Quintessons. So they really should have just went out the gate, kind of marketed how they did the War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron games as far as the trailers are concerned. Make it a bit more gritty, a bit more serious, kind of like what they did with the second and third trailer for Transformers 1, and just focus on the side of Optimus versus Megatron, the war, the character development, and not the jokes, and not just trying to make it seem like a typical PG kids movie in 2024 when it's not. There's actual story there. There's character development. There's poetry in how they wrote the story. It really does remind me of how George Lucas was handling Star Wars before he sold it to Disney. He was trying to make parallels, character development, all these different things that make a great story that's going to last for decades and decades. It has pretty much all of that in Transformers 1, and yet here we are, the movie couldn't even gross 150 million. As we are right now, the movie did not even break even for Paramount. So this is pretty bad, guys. I don't know what's going to happen, but definitely the marketing, the test screenings, and the first trailer, especially the first trailer, ruined any type of momentum this movie possibly could have had at the box office. I've seen so many people that just tuned out when that first trailer came out online, and now that the movie's out and people are raving about it and stuff, they're like, oh man, I should have given this movie a chance. Let me go see it, or let me stream it on Paramount. It's kind of too little too late. I mean, we missed that initial push, unfortunately. In the test screenings, they did so many test screenings and they revolved that around the marketing to the point where I think that lost a little bit of momentum too. So many of these people, so many fans got to already see the movie early, to the point where what's the point of seeing it when the movie comes out and spending extra money when they already saw the movie a couple weeks, 2 months ago or whatever. So I just think they gotta fix all these problems going forward, make a good first trailer, not do so many test screenings, and market the movie good, where people can actually see that you're making a new Transformers movie and not have to go off the guise of just word of mouth in 2024. I mean, this is ridiculous. But yeah, guys, I don't want to ramble on too much longer. That's what I think the real downfall is for this movie not meeting its box office goal. But you guys let me know down in the comments below, what do y'all think happened with this movie? All my social medias are linked down below, including my email if you guys want to hit me up about business inquiries or if you want to message me about whatever, or if you want to commission a diorama from me, because I make dioramas for people for their stop motions, photography, or your regular display shelves in your homes. You could either hit me up on any of my social media accounts or just email me and we can work out a deal. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching this video. Catch y'all in the next one. Bye.